And insecurity somewhere is insecurity everywhere. We have faced several types of insecurity in the northwestern part of the country, and so much so we have had several issues, several interventions, but it does look like there are actually more problems than even meets the eyes, much more than what we see on the front pages of the newspapers. We would connect with our Birin Kebi studios where Draman Mohammed Manga is waiting to speak to us generally on insecurity in the Northwest. Thank you for joining us this morning, Draman. Thank you.
A pleasure.
Can you just give us an overview of the forms of insecurity that exists generally in the Northwest?
Well, good morning, listeners or viewers, rather. I would like to say I'm happy to be part of this program. Insecurity that actually gives problem, or it's presently in the Northwest, is the issue of banditries and kidnappings that we have on our major roads and our villages, where they come and deal with people around, and that is really a very bad situation as we speak. Though there have been significant reduction in the cases of insecurity, and so far so good. I can tell you that the federal government and the military are on top of it, and they have had series of joint operations that have significantly reduced the acts and what have you that we have in the states, most especially in the Northwest. So I will give kudos to the military as well as the state governments for supporting the military in trying to fight insecurity in the Northwest.
All right. There's also another issue, Lokarawa. I don't know the extent of their, outplay, because what we hear and see is they kidnap people, they kill people, they extort people. How is the Northwestern government reacting to that threat, specifically in Zamfara State?
Well, the Lokurawa sect is actually not mostly in Zamfara, it's mostly in Sokoto and in Kebi. And I'm happy that our state governor and the governor of Sokoto are on top of it. And to be candid, if we will have a governor who will be up and doing like the governor of Kebbi State, His Excellency Dr. Nasser Idris Orangwandu, I think we will really trash this matter significantly, because he has been supportive. He gave almost all the security outfits in Kebbi State, where I come from. That's why I'm talking about Kebbi. All the logistics support, all the vehicles that needed, in fact, machines in hundreds to be able to flush these people. And unfortunately, these people do not have a permanent base that you will be able to have a kind of interface with them or attack them. They go in, they come in from Niger and some part of Niger, they come in, they strike, they go out of it. And that was the reason why the last time he even went to plead with the Minister of Defense and the Defense Minister to please situate a military base at the border area, so that we'll be able to contain them as they approach. We will always have immediate base a military base to flush them out. And so far, not only that, looking at when they do that, they have actually displaced people in numbers. And this is a governor who has always been up and doing to make sure that not only relocate them, ensure that they are not, in a very bad situation, and work towards moving them back to their localities. So if this government can actually take this kind of proactive measures, I think we will be able to contain them. Looking at the governors, are really disturbed because they move, they affect activities, business activities, farming activities, and what have you. So the governors are really on top of the matter, and I also hope that the federal government will intensify effort to see how this issue will actually be dealt with.
Okay, do you think that this insecurity is actually state-sponsored? I mean, there are people who have said that the government have every apparatus to go after these people and arrest them or nip it in the bud. And some people say that if it persists, then that means they just have a link, with the government. They have funding, because you can't exist if you don't have funding. Do you think they are internationally funded, funded, or even government sponsored?
Let me be very sincere with you. This issue of insecurity goes beyond the ordinary understanding of the common man. I believe that ordinarily the government will not sponsor people to come and kill their people and displace their people. There might be international conspiracy that we can't say, because most of these guys or these miscreants or the people that come in to displace people are not, most of them now are not even Nigerians. And some of them are collaborators with Nigerians, the bad eggs in Nigeria, to come cause this kind of mayhem. So for Nigerians, I feel it's not easy for the state government or the local government, or rather the federal government, to collaborate with any bad egg to distort or destabilize Nigerians where they're peacefully living. But it's an international thing, because some of these people are coming, when they attacked, some of them are neutralized. You realize they are not even Nigerians. You see them with braids, with some of them are not even circumcised. So you can see that it's a multinational thing, but what we need to do is not also happening in Nigeria. For us to say it's a Nigerian thing, it's happening in also so many parts of the West African countries, Central African countries. So we need to put a kind of collaborative effort with all relevant stakeholders to be able to ensure that this problem is wiped or is reduced to the minimum. Because it's really not a very good sight looking at families displaced, farms destroyed, cattle and what have you taken away, and it's costing a lot for the state government. Because the last time His Excellency was in some part of the states, in Kebbi State, he had to do so much to be able to make sure that people in their numbers are able to live comfortably, despite the fact that they are displaced, they are moved back to, temporary camps. And those things are really not easy for people to live in camps in their numbers and actually be comfortable. So I think it's an issue where the governors, the state, the federal government, including the international bodies, should really have a round table to find a lasting solution to this problem, because this problem is not a problem that the people are really finding it easy as far as insecurity is concerned.
Do you think lack of opportunities, especially economic opportunities, can cause insecurity? And how much of that exists in the Northwest?
Please come again.
Do you think lack of opportunities, by opportunities I mean economic opportunities, do you think lack of that, cause insecurity? And how much of that exists in the Northwest?
Well, of course, we have a very significant level of poverty in the Northwest, and which is also a bad thing for us. But there are so many projects, programs, and what have you that the federal government has initiated, able to jack up the economic viability of Nigeria. And also the state governors are busy doing so much in empowering youths, in bringing, agriculture as a main priority, what to keep them busy, and also have source of employment, youth skill acquisitions, and what have you. And also being a former vice president of the Northwest National Youth Council of Nigeria, we've had a series of interface with the government to see how we can be able to create enough awareness for young people not to go into such kind of activities, so that they can be engaged in all sorts of skill acquisitions and what have you, to be able to keep them busy. Because they said an idle mind is a devil's workshop. If people, the youths, are not engaged, definitely some people can mislead them to put them into all sorts of criminalities. And the governors, particularly my governor, I kept on saying particularly my governor, because I see the kind of work he's doing in Kebbi State. If we will continue to have our governor for 8 years like this, we will believe that there's no place that we're going to look like, we are going to be proud of like Kebbi State.
Some persons advocated some time ago the usage of negotiations to quell insecurity. In fact, at some point in the last administration, I think 2 governors from the Northwest actually did negotiate. Kaduna State Governor, that former Kaduna State Governor Nasir El-Rufai actually said he paid monies. Do you think negotiations with these people, when they are identified, will go a long way in quelling insecurity in the Northwest?
Well, I must sincerely say that there's a saying that you don't negotiate with a terrorist. But I will rather use this medium to appeal to all relevant stakeholders that they should use any medium necessary to ensure that insecurity is reduced to the barest minimum. I don't know how they intend to do it, but whatever it is that is within the Constitution of the Federal Republic of Nigeria, I think they should use all medium to be able to reduce this criminality, because it is affecting our markets, it's affecting our agricultural sector, it's affecting virtually every social activity of the region of the country. So the fact that the federal government is in a position to do more, the state governors are doing what they are doing, and also anybody that feels that he has what it takes should please come on board to advise or give reasonable or meaningful input in how to contain this menace, because it's really a bad thing and it's affecting the overall development of the region.
A potential issue that was raised that could cause a breakdown of law and order in the Northwest, specifically Kano State, was the killing of some members and residents of Kano who were traveling from River State through Uromi to Kano for the Salah celebration. We've seen how that turned into ethnic coloration, and we also saw threats and counter threats going back and forth. For you, what's your reading of that? And from your end, from what you have seen, do you think that these threats can cause significant breakdown of law and order if they are carried out?
Well, let me first and foremost sincerely say Nigeria is a country where everybody, as long as you are an indigene or you are a citizen of Nigeria, you have freedom of movement, freedom of association, freedom, you have the right to leave and the right to move from one part of the country to another. And Nigerians should not be taking laws into their hands, because just as you have seen Nigerians or the Northerners in the South, so you have so many Southerners in the North. And it's supposed to be a family. You know, if whatever it is, if they are even for the people that were brutally killed, if they were even caught guilty, I think we have the law enforcement that they should be handed over to for proper prosecution. Because if such a kind of act is done in Edo, and the people in Kano decide to retaliate, it will affect the Northwest, because Kaduna will take it up, and so many other regions, and that will disrupt the stability of the country. And I feel that Nigerians should be more patient and should look at things more holistically, that Nigeria is a family. You have so many intermarriages, you have so many activities, businesses that comes from the south and businesses that goes from the north. So if we don't collaborate or we don't understand each other, I think some people can decide to put this country on fire, and that we will not need it. So I will appeal to all those people who feel they are aggrieved. If you have the issue of kidnappings are not only taking place in the north. Kidnappings are also taking place in the south. And if they are kidnapping, they are not selective. They don't say, okay, you are a northerner, you are not kidnapped, or you are a southerner, you are not kidnapped. Everybody pays the price. So these people need to, generally Nigerians need to understand that these are situations that are all bothering or disturbs Nigerians, and we should find solutions that need to tackle this issue for us to have stability in the country.
All right. I mean, so many fingers have been crossed. I mean, even blames have been placed on several persons. The vigilante, they have been suspended. Some of them also have been arrested. Do you think that we should look at how we can either disband vigilante group or in some way inculcate them into our system for securing our society?
Vigilante groups are very essential part of the security aspect, because in Kebbi State, His Excellency have given them all the support, and they have been very supportive to the police, to the soldiers, and to even most of the people that we feel will help in containing or ensuring security in the place. So what I feel, in my own opinion, is there should be proper monitoring by state governors, federal government, to ensure that they have adequate training to be integrated into the security network or framework of this country, so that they can help in containing or combating crime, as far as I'm concerned. So those who are not properly trained and are not well taught on what to do, they end up taking laws into their hands, because this cannot happen with the police, neither can it happen with the soldiers, where they will have criminals. If they are criminals, they should take into the proper court of law for proper prosecution. But for them to take laws into their hands, which means that they are not well taught of what they are supposed to do as a security group or a security outfit that is expected to protect the lives and properties of the people.
Right. What's the status of the farmers' headers clash in the Northwest? Has that issue been taken care of, and what are the plans on the ground by the government of the Northwest in order to tackle this headlong?
I know a lot of laws, a lot of legislative bills that have been passed, put into various houses of assembly on seeing how they can really tackle these issues of headers and farmers. And it has been a long issue of conflict, because this trades have been there, farmers have been there, and also those who go around with their cattle have been there. So the governments are putting their heads together with all relevant stakeholders to ensure that these issues is reduced to the minimum, and I hope that the government will be able to contain it, at least reduce it to the barest minimum.
In the South, it's increasingly becoming problematic, given that most farmers are scared of going to their farms. I don't know what you would prefer as a solution to this issue. I mean, do you think that there should be a way that these two groups coexist, live together? So what happens? How are they solving the problem of farmers' headers clash? Have the legislation been made, and what are the content of this legislations? Do you think it will go a long way in solving the problem?
Yeah, I believe it will. The last government, I think, brought about ranches and what have you, to be able to keep those herders in place. But these are people that are always moving from one end to another, because when the greener pasture is more in the south, they move so that they can be able, their cattle and what have you can be able to be well fed. And they come all the way from Central Africa, some of them. Fulanis are known to be people that have been moving from one end to another all year round for only God knows when. And most of the time, the issues bothering the farmers is we call it the brutally, that is the path at which these people go from the north to the south. You know, the farmers have decided to farm most of it, and they have to now cross some of the farms, and affects the relationship between the farmers and the herders. So I think we will, the state government have been working tirelessly on seeing how the interest of both will be adequately protected, and I'm believing that it has been a long-standing issue, and that issue is still on the table, and it's been trashed out virtually all the states. I know of my state that I come from, the governor of Kebbi State has had a lot of interface with both herders and farmers, and we have the barest minimum of occurrence of certain things, because interests are really put into place. We have advisors on Fulanis and what have you, and they keep on giving His Excellency, the Executive Governor of Kebbi State, on particular, ways at which those issues or those conflicts can be reduced to the barest minimum. And I think if other governors can emulate what the governor of Kebbi State is doing, I think this issue will be reduced to the barest minimum. I wouldn't say totally, because you have issues where you have people that deliberately goes into farms to destroy farms. We have miscreants here and there, but at least minimum situation reduction, minimum reduction of those conflicts will be achieved, God's willing.
Some people say that the ranching may not really work because, I mean, Fulanese move around a lot, and you can't, in one fell swoop with one law, you know, just ban them from moving from one place to another. I mean, that's their life, that's their culture. So, do you think ranching would work in this regard?
You see, the ranching is another advanced way of even having proper or high yield, because you now have advanced feeds, you now have very vast lands where you can be able to monitor your animals. But as you said earlier, it's something that it has been part of their life to move around. So it's not easy for just policies to come and contain them in one place. Let us be able to see how we can be able to, you know, create more enabling environment for them to continue with that kind of movement, because they actually have cattle in hundreds of millions. They move around, and that, you know, it's not easy for them to have, you know, ranches that can contain them. Some of them, if you wouldn't believe, if you see the numbers that move around, you know that it's not easy for such kind of people to be kept in one place, because it's not about a family, it's about colonies of different Fulani from different regions moving around to make sure that their animals are well fed, to continue the normal or the tradition. So we will look at, you know, seeing how we improve. We strong ranches. If it goes well with them, they try it, but which is going to be difficult. Yes, that's my sincere opinion.
All right, let's speak quickly about Zamfara State, especially the area where we have major issues with insecurity. Some people believe that the reason why the insecurity persists in that part of Zamfara State is because of the discovery of gold. How true is this?
Well, I think you know, everybody is entitled to his opinion, but if that is a factor, that cannot be ruled out as well. But there must be issues, because, you know, Zamfara is quite wide, it's quite vast, and there must be, you know, a very conducive environment for them to operate. That is why they are finding it okay or easy to be in Zamfara. You know, so, and the federal government, the military are really on top of it, because they have done significantly well in trying to reduce the number of groups that are actually terrorizing those areas. Just recently, this FAA axis, you know, very close to Katsina, the military have succeeded in neutralizing some kingpins that have really terrorized not only Zamfara but the northwest. And by seeing how that is taking place, you can understand that there might be interest. You don't rule out the issue of gold, but I don't think the gold is the major issue. They feel that is a safe haven because it's quite rocky, it's quite conducive, and they find, you know, they have very good enclaves where they can be hideouts. So they make it difficult for the security to access. But now with the air strikes and the ground troops that have intensified their efforts to neutralize those miscreants, normalcy is reducing, is coming back to Zamfara significantly, and we must commend the governor of Zamfara too, who has always been hosting the security operatives, the security chiefs, the GOCs, to see how they can best handle the issue of insecurity in Zamfara. And we must commend the governor too for doing that.
All right, Abdurrahman Mohammed Manga, many thanks for your time. Thank you so much for your insights. It's been one very fantastic one. We truly appreciate you.
Thank you. I appreciate it.
All right, that was Abdurrahman Mohammed.
Signature TV, news in your pocket.